core business is academics. A lot of times, the work session is primarily academic curriculum stuff, and that's what tonight is. So I'm going to start with Kathy has several individuals in her division that are going to share some things with you, and then we'll wrap up. But I think there's some exciting news coming today, particularly in the area of CTE. So and where some future things going. So Kathy.
Dr. Graves is going to present tonight. Dr. Daniel is sick.
Good afternoon. Kindergarten registration for the 2023-2024 school year will kick off on March 14th. That's a Tuesday evening from 5 until 7 p.m. At each of our elementary schools. It will be a floating event, so parents can come at their convenience and start the process to register their child for kindergarten. Several things have already occurred in preparation for the event. Tim Newby has sent a press release to the local media, whether or not they choose to publicize the event, and of course that is their choice. He's posted the announcement on our district website. Schools have received a registration announcement that they've posted on their websites, and they've also received flyers. And then throughout the months of February and March, they're going to publicize it in their newsletters and once per month using School Messenger. And by February 24th, they're going to display it on their sign outside of the school. And after March 14th, if parents are not able to attend, they will be able to come to their child's school and register them by going to the school during regular office hours.
And then by March 20th, people will be saying, I've never heard it. Never told me.
No, they'll wait till August, they'll wait till the first day of school and come in and say, school start.
You never did anything but to let us
I have a
know.
key.
Well, we're certainly trying, the schools are trying, and as always, I
know.
appreciate all that Tim Newby does to help us get the word.
Yes.
He does a great job of helping us publicize the event.
You know, one thing, I know every year, it seems like at some school, and I don't know, maybe it's been corrected, most of it, but you have some parents, that's their first time, you know, taking a kid to school, and that's a big deal. And I would hope that the principals can find a way to be at the school that night. I mean, I know every year, and you know, we've had that conversation before, Dr. Gainey, that they're gone, the principal's not there. They ought to be there that night, and I mean, I hope we stress that, and you know, just basically, that's pretty important. I think principals out there meeting parents, you know, hey, I'm your principal, and I mean, that always been a pet peeve of mine when the principal wasn't there at a special night. It's my 2 cents.
Well,
Thank you.
thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to share this information with you.
One quick question. I know this is going on through March, but just from my knowledge, and I think it would help a lot of us, you know, come like April board meeting, if we could, you will bring the numbers back to us. 'Cause that way it puts in our mind, you know, what the growth is gonna be at these schools. 'Cause we got, you know, a few schools who are struggling with growth numbers. And that sort of give you a little projection, what we can look to is the growth coming or if it's not.
Thank you.
Dr. Cross?
All right, good afternoon. Hope you guys are doing well. Just start off, I'm excited to present our 23-24 initiatives. Just talking about our Business Advisory Board. I love the Business Advisory Board opportunity. We are required to meet twice a year. As you can see, we have great representation across the county, a lot of different agencies and organizations. I really use this opportunity, one, to bring people to our high schools and show off our CTE programs, but also get a chance. I love the feedback that I get from these meetings. So at these meetings, I really try to tap in, like, are our CTE pathways relevant? We offer 25 pathways and 114 courses in these pathways, and I just want to make sure, are we relevant? We have a lot of economic boom coming in our county, as you see, with the mega site and the surrounding mega sites around our county. And I just want to make sure that our students are at the front of the line to get these opportunities, and that's what you're about to see in my upcoming presentation. So, I mean, Dr. Gainey, he's a part of the board. We have the community college president, Elder Lasker, came. We met at Randall High School in December. We presented some of our initiatives, what we're doing with College and Career Continuum, and then we just asked for a ton of feedback. We get a chance to have kids lead the industry leaders across our school to show off the programs and what we're doing. And it's a great opportunity to showcase our students and our programs and again, receive feedback. So I really value these 2 meetings a year and the feedback it's just been wonderful. It's really helped drive a lot of the work that we're doing in CTE. So any Any questions on the advisory board?
And general statute and our board policy supports or calls for this advisory board to be in place as well as report out. So this report comes every about once a year to you guys, but it is governed by board policy and statute to have this board in place, advisory board.
Thank you. All right, with this, that's a great segue to right into our initiatives. Again, David Cross, I'm the director of the CTE department, and been doing about 2.5 years now. And it's just a great opportunity to be in that role, get a chance to impact so many schools and kids. Moving right into our 23-24 priorities right after our vision. So we have a simple and CT vision. We created this vision because I think our plan is simple. We want to make sure all of our kids know that when they graduate high school, they're going to have a post-graduation plan. We want to make sure they're going to go on and do big things with their life and also be at the forefront to get educational and skills-driven opportunities that are going to lead to the attainment of high skill and high wage careers. So we got 5 big priorities that we're leading with going into next year. We want to make sure that we are trying to put some sort of program in all 32 of our schools and really provide targeted experiences across elementary, middle school, and high school grade spans to make sure that kids are getting opportunities to get career awareness, exploration, and development opportunities along this continuum. So we called it the college and career continuum. So we really brought in college tours. We try to bring in industry partners and really try to provide a gamut of opportunities and experiences so students get a robust look of what all the different industries that are out there. Especially as, you know, I think North Carolina, we're growing 10% population, the economic boom that's hitting our area and the state. I think North Carolina was just ranked #1 in the nation to do business. So great opportunity for us and our kids. Maximize credential opportunities. Really proud of our students in our 25 pathways and 114 courses. We offer credentials. A lot of our credentials directly align with industry. Some are not quite aligned, but they do provide value because I think employers want to see students that will go and earn something. So in 21-22, our students earned 5,812 credentials, and we were 8th in the state last year in earning credentials. And I'm pretty competitive, so I'm pretty proud of that. So I was excited about that. We've been back-to-back top 10 finishes in credentials. And so again, we feel like it provides a lot of value, and some students can take that credential, earn our pathways, and go right to the workforce with those credentials. We want to make sure we're marketing. A big thing is really marketing well to our kids. We want to make sure students are becoming concentrators, that they're completing our pathways and getting those upper level skill sets. So becoming concentrators, they're completing at least 2 to 3 courses in a pathway, and we're also pushing those credentials along with that as well. CTE concentrators in 21-22, we had 829 concentrator students that completed the pathway, and CTE concentrators typically have a really great post-secondary placement rate because we feel like they're vested in skill sets, we feel like they're vested in careers, and our concentrators, 96.84% of those went on to go to get a job, a post-secondary placement in the educational sector or the military. So a really high post-secondary rate for students to concentrate, which will lead me to our next big option we'll talk about today. So we also, the big thing moving into next year is we want to try to develop more higher education certificate opportunities where we can offer a college program to kids right in our traditional high schools. So students can earn 4 to 5 college credits and complete a certificate that will give them entry-level workforce experience and credential that could lead them to entry-level work or pursue higher education to continue to advance that career. And then the next thing is we really want to establish partnerships around surrounding industries. A lot of partnerships, agencies, I mean, there's a lot of opportunity out there, and we want to create more skills-based, I guess, internships and apprenticeships for students to continue to learn more advanced skills through these partnerships. So we're looking to provide at 3 high schools a variety of certificate programs that really piggyback on our pathways. So all of our high schools, there's different CTE pathways in all of our high schools. And so certificate programs, there's a lot of advantage certificate programs. So again, this could be 4 to 5 college credit courses that also provide high school credit to students. We're looking to bring 3 programs to URI Ridge, Wheatmore High School, and Randleman High School. We're trying to bring a variety of certificate programs to these schools to try to provide that employable credential and also an opportunity for kids to say they've completed a college program. So through that, again, they can earn an entry-level employable credential. They can confirm that their academic and career interests are really kind of shaping that up. Is this something I want to do moving forward in my life? And we're really trying hard, again, to piggyback that off of our CTE pathways to making sure they're getting like double concentrated as they pursue these opportunities. And then we want to continue to make sure they're receiving specific industry-aligned skills and really digging into that content. And the best thing about it is it's no cost for our kids. And so through the CCP's Career and College Promise Program, students are tapping into these experiences. And our school district, we pay for those textbooks and tools. So again, no cost to the kids to bring these opportunities. So starting off with light duty diesel certificate, we've been playing with RCC. Beginning this spring, we're looking to create our first cohort of students to start in fall of '23. The light duty diesel certificate is going to be implemented this semester in preparation to build a first cohort of students, and we're looking to make this an annual program with a cohort model. This program prepares students to apply technical knowledge and skills to diagnose, adjust, repair, overhaul light-duty diesel vehicles under a one-time classification. Students are going to receive instruction on electrical systems, diesel electric drive, engine performance, engine repair, emission systems, and other types of diesel engines. And whether they pursue a career in light-duty diesel, they're going to get a lot of skills that's going to relate to the automotive industry. So it's a big win-win with this program. And RCC, they're providing the instructor, the equipment, and all the big, diesel engines that are going to be working on through that.
So how is RCC, how are they compensated? I mean, I know you said we buy the books and the,
So
whatever the other materials were.
it's kind of like our per pupil funding, so they have FTEs, and so they get that on their end. So, they'll be at Uriah Ridge getting high school credit, but them being enrolled in college credit, it kind of goes on their books, and the funding is that per
So
pupil
is it
funding.
is it funneled through us, or is it directly to the community?
No.
It's
No, the
directly
community
to us.
college, they provide it to us, and then we kind of market the program and register kids through like the career coaches on campus.
It sort of goes like their continuing ed at RCC, because being in the fire service, all the classes my guys go take,
Yes, sir.
RCC makes money off my guys going to
That's
class.
it, yes, sir.
Okay.
But it's parallel to the students, the Career and College Promise, where the child can take a course and it count both ways. When our kids show up there, they're full-timers or full-time equivalent. They're also one of our children, so we're getting stated. To me, both the academic program for the kids and the funding program for the two institutions parallel, both sides.
And the Career and College Promise, we have career coaches in all of our high schools that help register students, and we're pushing almost 2,000 seats this year. So kids are really taking advantage, and it provides a lot of students opportunity to get that college level experience.
Right.
All right, so upon successful completion of the program, they're going to earn 4 dual credits, high school side and college side. They're going to get the light duty diesel certificate, and they can transfer all of those credits to the diploma portion of RCC, which will further their education. We're looking to bring 15 students to this first cohort to really figure out the logistics. I'm going to work with the school administration, Mr. Hill, and CDC to try to recruit students who's going to be a good fit for this. Because we want students to not only participate, we want them to get a certificate. We want them to get these 4 courses. We want to make sure they're successful. So we want to make sure we're getting 11th and 12th grade students who are going to be invested in this program. We're going to ask those students to sign a statement of commitment to say that, hey, that if you're going to be prepared for this, there's a lot of planning, we're providing all this equipment, we need you to make sure that you're best and you're going to complete these 4 courses. And then we are going to be able to deliver this on the campus, which is exciting, so kids will not have to travel. We've already got space picked out. The vehicles we'll be working on will be pulled up right behind the back of the school, and then RCC will continue to bring the engines and those good things that we're working on.
Board members, we already have a history of their instructors coming to our campuses. The first 2 places that happened was, I want to say it was maybe psychology and statistics, one at Wheatmore, one in Providence Grove. And that's a long way back now. That's probably, that may be as far back as 15, maybe. So this is when David was showing, and I saw with this information he had arranged, that was exciting to me because, that just continues. And we've had success with that, with them coming to our campuses. They take that seriously, like they're on our staff. They come in their time to teach. It's not I might be there, I might not. That's their assignment from the community college.
And we think it's a good win for our school system and for the college and for the kids, so we're really excited about this program.
Are we going to be able to allow, like, 11th, 12th grade, 15 students, if they don't get 15 students interested, are we gonna be able to allow students from other high schools probably to maybe transfer to that school to take it, similar to, I guess, the Spanish deal that we have at, I guess at Hopewell?
Well, right now, we do not let children go to schools because of, like, for instance, you have medals at Randleman and Eastern, and so you can't transfer because you want to do one of those programs, just like you can't transfer to Wheatmore for auto mechanics or to Randleman for auto mechanics, because they're only two. Or Trinity has a hospitality tourism program that no one else has. So in our reassignment, I say transfer, reassignment rules, we do not allow children to change schools because it's programs. Because that would be, that could probably create a lot of different scenarios beyond the program itself.
And how did we come up with the 3 schools that's getting the programs?
So the big vision is more of a 2-year vision. I would love to create this model at all of our high schools and really trying to think of like what each community needs, really trying to tailor the program to the community, what's going to be a win for the students. So I have a big vision to really try to provide one or multiple of these certificates that really piggyback on our CTE pathways to the schools. So this year it's all about UI Ridge, Randleman, Wheatmore. Next year it's all going to be Eastern, PG, Southwest, Trinity. So really trying to figure out what's going to be a great win for those
And
schools.
the reason I asked that question, I just got in my mind that Yoy Ridge, I know, enrollment, we could encourage some higher enrollment there.
Well, now, War Ridge is an application for high school, so
Yeah.
take that back. I wasn't thinking of that piece. Someone from not in that zone can apply for that. That's how UR Ridge 612 was developed.
Okay.
You know, it's the base school for anybody who's a base student there, but we just have very little movement into that program, or into that school, that 612 program from outside. Hadn't been many at all. I mean,
Be honest
so,
with you,
yeah, so Mr. Lanier, clear that up. Your first question, yes, the concept of UR Ridge would allow that. You know, the idea of going to a school for a program, you know, it would
Well, I
allow
mean,
that.
just on the opposite side of it, Randleman, we don't need any more kids there right now.
No,
So,
that would be accurate.
be honest with you, I'm glad to see this come to Yard Ridge. Me and Gary's beat this horse to death for about 5 years now. CTE program at Yard Ridge has been struggling and not put blame on any. It has never developed what we
But it's
told it
nice to
was
see them
going to.
targeted to get something like this.
Yes.
And to Mr. Lanier, to your point, and David and I were talking this afternoon, if you start looking at spreading stuff around, David just redid the cooking lab at Southwest High, which is a big program. They've obviously got a big ag program as well. Everybody has very strong ag programs. But in recent time, we've upgraded the Randleman High School Metals program. We put a brand new, from the ground up, metals program at Eastern. That was the primary use of our Golden Leaf money. And, you know, it's getting a little bit of time away, but Trinity High School opened that tourism and hospitality school or program that no one else has. So, you know, it's starting to wrap around. You know, you ask why these 3, well, that's coming off that other action, and now where does it go from here? And David was talking about that this afternoon with me about what are we talking about next year this time for 24, 25?
Really, in Randolph County, I can talk about when I went to high school many years ago. I mean, I went to East Randolph, and we had the aerospace program down there.
Did you?
We was one of the very few schools in the state who had it. You know, we flew, we built airplanes and everything. And we were, like I say, one of the very few schools who had that in the state. And when you get into CTE, that's a lot of the way it is. Just every school can't have everything.
The plane's still flying, you help build trucks.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
We did crash one.
No, I didn't build that one.
But the byproduct of this
Fred built that.
conversation, though,
Fred
hey,
done
we
that,
gotta
so really
remember
is
this. Mr. Lanier, you make the great point. For anybody listening, the byproduct of this conversation with this diesel is a child could apply to go to UWARI when based on our student assignment rules, right, from another zone. They could be pursuing the diesel.
And And our big vision really is to create a kindergarten to career, like kindergarten to college model in all these high schools. So that's a big vision. So we're kind of starting out with logistics here, trying to get certificates up and running. We have a great partnership with RCC, and also this allows us to bring it really at very minimal cost, like a good trades-driven program. It's gonna have a great median, I mean, the median pay for this profession is $48,690, $23.41 an hour, and it's got a 4% national growth rate. So, I mean, we are doing this without any startup cost out of our budget. So, also really excited about that, and we instantly put a program there, same thing with those certificates. So it allows us to really like reach kids at a very minimal cost, so that's huge.
Love that. Well, let me ask you a question. Are you,
Yes,
do you
sir.
foresee like maybe in the next year when you're looking at something to do, could you, I mean, looking for something else to add, you know?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I didn't mean it quite like that.
Yeah.
But,
Yes,
Yeah,
you guys always making me wrong.
See me sticky now. Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, I mean, you're gonna have southeast Guilford, you got all these places, Guilford, right at the mega site. I mean, things are close. I wonder if there's anything you could like hook up with Toyota or something that would, I guess, jump in on that opportunity before another school system
Got it.
beats you to it, you know, to be like, that would be big time news, like, hey, Eastern Randolph, bam, we're gonna nail, that would be huge to start, or Providence, or then go to Providence. You may have already thought of that, but.
Interesting you say that, I was in a meeting with
Huh?
Toyota, I was in a meeting with Toyota Friday.
Yeah, so,
And I
well,
said,
that's your assignment then.
I made the
You go ahead and make that happen. That's it, you got the connections.
I made the comment that we needed a path to Toyota.
Yes, we do.
I don't know if that's.
You already
the
lost
way-
$500,000 to another, what was it, CIS? You should have got that for us.
We didn't lose it, we never had it in our
We
hands.
never had it in our hands.
Never an option.
Uh,
And really, a lot of data points to that, you know, Superintendent Truitt points to, is like a lot of our kids that graduate, like, are really just not moving on to, you know, it takes a long time to kind of find their path. So we're hoping if we can provide this experience, get them to finish programs early, that this will lead to a greater post-secondary placement. So, anyway, so I think these are gonna be, you know, we're gonna have to market these well, but I hope they'll be sought after by our kids. So a little bit of the program logistics, for the Light Duty Diesel program, we're gonna have 4 days of in-person instruction Monday through Thursday. RCC is bringing their instructor. We're gonna have 1 day of virtual instruction on Friday. And the UR staff members will cover that supervision. They'll have assignments and Canvas to complete. But it's gonna be very hands-on. Fall semester, we're building in 2 blocks with a lunch period built in so they can complete 2 courses each semester. Again, the idea is to get a certificate in 1 year. Fall semester, we're gonna take intro to light duty diesel and fuel systems. Spring semester, air exhaust emissions, LDD test and diagnosis. They're gonna complete these 2 courses. We're gonna block out this time to protect and make sure they're vested, because I think there's gonna be lots of hands-on experiences. They're gonna need more time than just a block. So we've given them good ample time to really get creative, get structures and flexibility, so that way they can really maximize that time. RCC, like I said before, they can provide all the major equipment, which includes the vehicles. We're gonna go back in that old, used to be like I guess cooking lab, and so it's a big open space, lots of opportunities for kids to spread out. It goes right out to the back of the facility. They can pull up trucks, kids get right, hands dirty, right on the engines. Wow, I'm pumped up. It's gonna be great. And then again, all books and tools will be provided by our school system. So they're getting this experience for free. So again, what I said, you know, why LDD, you are, and we need more trade-driven programs. You see the median wage, and you got the growth rate. So Public Service Academy, Wheatmore High, that's our next big program. We're looking to implement 2 certificate programs that align to our new public safety. So there's a huge need for public safety right now. EMTs, firefighters, corrections officers, tons of vacancies. And I mean, talking about the feedback that I get in my advisory councils, this is a huge concern, not only in our county, with our state growing as fast as it is, that there's not enough people to keep up with the growth. So this is a highly important program, really. I mean, I'm new to this, so we're just getting started at 1 school. So we're gonna offer Public Safety 1, Public Safety 2 at Wheatmore High. It really provides a robust educational, you know, I guess, experience for students in that pathway. It's going to touch on, you know, corrections, emergency and fire management, security protection. Students want to pursue their EMT, law enforcement. It's going to give them a good base understanding of what public safety is all about. There's thousands of jobs in public safety, so it meets a lot of different needs. And there's a lot of like college certifications that they can pursue beyond this pathway. So we're gonna teach public safety 1 and 2, that's our high school pathway, which would be a Randolph County School System CTE teacher. We're looking to bring the 2 certificates, 1, criminal justice technology, and then fire protection technology. And we're looking to protect, provide those 2 certificate programs and protect 15 seats per course for each of the certificates. Now, starting off, we're looking to offer this virtually because there's no equipment involved. Kids are going to go through and complete the certificate, piggybacking off public safety 1 and 2, so they can take it right from their learning labs and however else they do their other CCP. But we're going to try hard to really market to finish their certificate. All right, so here's the layout. So it's super flexible the way CCP works. Again, it's for junior and senior. So if I'm a senior and I want to get really serious and I want to go get the certificate, then I can, and if your schedule allows it, they can complete all 5 classes in a year. If I'm a junior rolling in, I want to stack it up, I can do, 2 in 1 semester, 1. I mean, we got to take it when it's allowed by RCC. The RCC is going to protect 15 spots per course for Wheatmore so kids can finish that pathway. And so it's going to be 15 hours of the criminal justice, and again, that hits a lot of different, vacancies that we have right now. Any questions on criminal justice?
When they're pulling those 15 spots, you said it's all virtual.
It's all virtual. Yes,
Would
sir.
the kid have the opportunity to come to RCC, or does those, I guess what I'm asking is the virtual class work hand in hand with the in-classroom class, or with
This
at
is-
RCC, or?
That's a great question. This is going to be strictly virtual. And there could be opportunities to bring, once we start getting more interest, when we develop these programs, the idea would eventually get it so we have enough students on a repeated basis to justify RCC bringing instructors to the campus. So that's a long-term vision to get it going. We're going right to a virtual format. And students should have everything they need to be successful through virtual. But again, long-term goal would be to have a sustainable program to get instructors on our campus.
And who will be overseeing the virtual program on the school campus?
So just like we do with other CCPs, so we'll work with our career development coordinators and our guidance counselors, principals, lots of hands in this. We have, RCC has career coaches that each of them serves 2 different high schools, and then they kind of oversee the registration. Dr. Robledo, we have a great partnership. He's over kind of the CCP program. We will have our hands on these programs to make sure that we're making our 15 seats, that we're marketing appropriately. So as long as we're good to move forward with everything, like we have an implementation plan like teed up and ready to start marketing these programs to the kids.
I think it'd be a good idea to get somebody like Tracy to show up at least
Yeah.
once
Yeah.
a week, have a law enforcement,
And then fire
or
department.
fire department, or
Yeah.
EMS, whatever, show up so the kids can go sit in front of a computer. I know I'm different than today's kids, but, I mean, I think they need to be able to see something, see that.
The public safety 1 and 2, like we hope to do just that. Like we want to get a chance to go get off campus and go see the different industry sectors. We want to get guest speakers in, because I think you're right. I think they need to hear, see, experience, feel to go on and move forward in certificate programs. So we're really going to try hard to do that, especially getting off the ground in our entry-level high school courses, and then market it appropriately to make sure that, hey, if you want to do these things, criminal justice, like here are the different experiences you can tap into.
Is that strictly Wheatmore?
That's strictly Whitmore, yes, sir.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Since it's virtual, no way to tie URA Ridge, since their numbers,
So,
I mean, Tracy, correct me if I'm wrong, Tracy, when this first started,
Yes.
we were led to believe that URA Ridge was going to be exactly what I'm looking at up there. And we've never really touched on that. And we promised those people, I mean, if you ever thought about going to URA Ridge, tell me if I'm wrong, Tracy, I know you know this back of your head. You kind of thought that in the back of your mind, that's what that school was going to be about. And, I guess in the past, before you come to town, we lost that somewhere along the way, but since it's virtual, is there any way you could tie them into anything like that, or at the number, I mean,
so we're
that would
leaving,
be a draw.
so we're leaving seats, there'll be some open seats, which can be tapped into by other kids who are accessing CCP. So that's the benefit of being virtual. So we're just kind of protecting, as part of the program, we're protecting these 15 seats, but as many seats as the RCC will allow, other students from other schools can follow this similar path. We just won't market it. We're just not marketing as this is the Public Service Academy of Wheatmore. But kids will be able to take advantage of these classes you know, with the remaining.
But they need
seats
to
that we
know
have.
that,
Yeah, we will.
I mean,
And
especially down there, I mean, it's like,
It's a
what about the fire thing? Did
Yeah.
that ever happen?
David, if they took, if there were another school end up taking all of these courses, then they would get awarded a certificate too.
Yes, sir, yeah.
And that's something you.
Say that again, I couldn't hear you.
If they were at another school, not Wheatmore, but we end up taking all 5 of these courses, and they would get the certificate as well as the Wheatmore child would. Yeah. And so that's gonna have to, that's something that needs to be pushed.
Yeah. We can market that.
CECs.
Yeah, we can
I
market that.
think that would, I
Yeah.
mean, that's just something, another opportunity.
Look, I know some other counties that market, especially like in the fire service, and all, they market this and they just actually have schools.
Oh, really?
And, I mean, these kids graduating high school and they going straight to work for the fire department. They don't have to go through training or nothing because they've had it. And when I've been to some Skills USA competitions, I have talked to the people who does this. And it's been a great success for their school system.
And we want all these seats full. So we're just kind of protecting 15 for the academy model, but we really hope to really take advantage of all the seats allowed for the class. Usually I think it goes up to 30, it just depends on how many seats RCC allows.
Because actually, I was talking to someone 2 weeks ago, and his son is big in the fire service because his dad worked for OSFM, and because some of these schools, they get credit.
They do.
I mean, like, they went to 3MT outside of school. They got school credit for that stuff.
CCB provides us a lot of flexibility and opportunities, because like I said, the big vision is to try to create more and more of these experiences, like for all of our students. So, I mean, looking through their CTE pathways and they offer certificates, I mean, there's dozens of them. And I think we could really create something special by bringing these models in our schools.
Because we know the time we went to school, the CTE program has changed greatly. I mean, you know, you had carpentry, masonry, ag, and but auto mechanics and
You built an airplane.
And you know, you had your, you know, your cooking classes and stuff like that. And you see, which is a great thing, it's evolved, and it's great, because, man, we didn't have no criminal justice, some of us probably locked up.
No, but the
You know?
the airspace and EMT work hand in hand.
Yeah, you carry your Band-Aids with you.
Yeah. And our workforce needs it. I was reading an
I
article
know why
this
that
morning.
program ended.
Yeah.
And
We ran out of
we feel
EMT.
every single job that is a lot of unemployment, we're starting to have 160,000 vacancies. So there's a huge gap, especially in trades. I mean, and getting kids these credentials, I mean, I think it's gonna be awesome for our kids.
Yeah, I mean, I was just talking to the colonel of the sheriff
Yeah.
department yesterday, and she said, man, they got like 40-some, 50-some open.
Yeah.
Hmm? I had to go speak at church yesterday, and she was there.
So if I'm a student in one of these classes, if I, doing it virtually, is everybody in the class one of those 15, or am I in a virtual classroom and there's other courses being taught at the same time? I guess, how is that?
So they're gonna roll this, so the kid is gonna be to have that direct interaction with the instructor. So it's kind of like
Okay.
they're down by the computer, they're gonna be in their traditional high school setting.
If there's 15,
Or if
we're
they're
all in the same classroom at the same time then, right?
Yes, so,
Okay.
I mean, and it depends on the instructor, how the instructor facilitates the class.
Right.
But it'll be more like they're gonna be on the computer interacting with the professor, doing all-around assignments.
Okay.
I'm sure they'll offer hours, times, I mean, just like a traditional, almost like college virtual class. Any questions on criminal justice? So the next certificate at the Public Service Academy, Wheatmore, is gonna be fire protection technology. This kind of is your pathway to being chief. You know, lots of different ways to go, this kind of entry level, entry level into the fire industry. I mean, it's not going to directly get your credentials to be a firefighter, but definitely drums up interest. So same type model, this has 4 classes in the certificate, fall, you've got intro to fire protection, and you got fire prevention, public ed. Spring semester, you got road construction, fire protection law, same thing, 15 seats, protected for Wheatmore High. There's also other seats available to other students.
That's a good thing, right there. My department, they got taking classes right there.
Oh, do they? Oh, great.
Build construction, intro, and fire prevention, pub ed.
Is that class usually a hands-on class, like a live person?
Those, yeah, I mean, through RCC there is I mean,
Yeah.
I got 4 they're high school students right now, they're going down to RCC, actually, some going down there tonight doing class, and like those classes there are pretty much,
So you think from a
Lectures.
virtual perspective, that's a good, I mean, that's a very relatable thing. for
yeah, cause I mean, it's pretty much,
Like theory and all that.
yeah,
it's
it is
just
pretty much,
talking.
you know, just a talking class. It
Yeah.
ain't no hands, really
Right.
hands-on
Nothing you
type
need to
stuff.
see like on a real-time kind of visual.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing, they gotta do hands-on practicals of those classes there.
I'm just glad they didn't have virtual when you were doing the plane.
No problem.
If they were doing virtual back then days, it'd be on a green screen.
Any questions on fire protection technology? There's also further research, like how to get EMT certification, that's in the back of our minds, but that's like a certification you gotta do in person. So that we're continuing to research how to bring EMT, because that's a really sought after profession that we need.
So the same would apply down at UR with that as with the other, right, possibly?
Absolutely. So the flexibility of CCP, like, I mean, there's so many things we can do with it, and so that's what really makes it exciting moving forward. It brings back to our next big program, the School of Business at Randleman High. We got a lot of pathways at Randleman High School, so we're gonna bring in 3 certificate programs and align the 3 specific pathways. So our Randleman High School pathways that we're starting with are sales, general management, and then kind of a blend of animal science, plant systems. Those pathways already exist at Randleman High. We're bringing 3 certificate programs to kind of piggyback on those 3, and those are business administration, marketing, accounting and finance, and then agribusiness technology. Like, and those are 3 very industry relevant certificates for all ranges of jobs, great skills, and you'll see, a couple of the courses, the course layout will show you why we picked those 3, and then we're continuing to encourage kids to complete a certificate. 15 seats will be protected for each course at Randleman High. Yes, sir.
One thing, I know most of this is juniors, senior years, and, cause back to the fire thing. Cause I know, OSFM and Department of Insurance, they've opened, we can actually train 15-year-olds.
Oh, really? Wow, I didn't know that.
So I didn't know, I know with all the other curriculum
Yeah.
with, freshmen and sophomore, that it's open there to possibly, a sophomore could do the fire stuff, because they have opened that up now, 15-year-olds can go take certain classes. Hey, you gotta turn 18 to be certified.
CCP does restrict us for juniors and seniors, and so they gotta hit those certain requirements. I mean, that Anderson GPA requirements as well. But again, there is, as we continue to build, there's lots of ways we can take this. Accounting and finance, fall semester, principles of financial accounting. We got business law 1, spring semester, principles of managerial accounting, and then I'm excited about the income taxes. I kind of just bring in like, hey, valuable skills to kids. Like, if they need to take that course alone, I think they're going to be directly benefited. So I'm pretty excited about the income taxes class.
Guy does my taxes, he went to class and there was only 2 people there, 35 years old and younger. Russell was retired.
Yeah, valuable skills. Agribusiness, ag's huge. I think it's like 50% of our economy in Randolph County. I mean, we're a state leader in ag across the board. I'm excited to bring this. We have the big agricultural center coming right on Dixie Drive in 2 years. It's going to be an immaculate facility. We need to figure out a way to get offices over there because it looks beautiful. Then in the fall, you're going to have intro to sustainable ag, you got an introduction to business. In the spring semester, we're going to have ag, economics, and introduction to computers. Any questions on agribusiness? And finally, we got business administration and marketing. So the fall semester will take principles of financial accounting, business law 1, principles of marketing, and then spring principles of management and advanced and sales promotion. One thing I think a lot of these courses are going to do are really help polish employability skills. A lot of our employers just talk about like the importance of communication skills, showing up on time, having vast skill set, computer literacy. I think these courses will help shape that for our students. Any questions on the school of business and Randleman? All right, so this is the last thing. This is going away from the certificate. This is going back to our final priority of trying to create more internships and apprenticeships. So the North Carolina Masonry Contractors Association, they've reached out. They want to adopt Providence Grove. They're creating a new model. And this is a creative spin on, very interested in it. They want to try to continue to link our high school masonry programs to the job. And they want to make sure our masonry programs are relevant to workforce. So they want to partner with us, with Providence Grove to begin with. We have 3 masonry programs, one in Providence Grove, one in Eastern, one in Southwest. If this goes well, we'll look to take it to the other 2. They want to adopt Providence Grove. Wayne Miller, excellent instructor out there, does a great job with credentials. Kids love him. He was recently named the Providence Grove CT Teacher of the Year. I mean, he does a great job keeping his kids excited about masonry. And so through the program, these contractors in the Masonry Association will provide exposure to industry partnerships. They want to provide materials and equipment, exposure to job site visits because the kids can learn on the job, of course. And then they want to provide access to the pre-apprenticeship program. I'm really excited about that part. It's available to students 16 years and older. Kids in the pre-apprenticeship program, I believe it's only a semester, but kids can go make $14 an hour and get a high school credit. So they're eager to get that going because, again, they have they have a reduced workforce, many kids that are ready to get these jobs, these good paying jobs. So if everything goes well, we will implement this coming up this spring. Any questions on the Adopt School program, PG?
You said that would eventually, if we get this going, it would eventually expand to Eastern and to Southwest?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So I guess what makes this so different than what's going on right now?
From like Apprenticeship Randolph?
Yeah, like what's the difference?
You know,
Like what's the benefit of this being kind of put in there?
So this seems like, to me, this is like just a semester pre-apprenticeship. So like where Apprenticeship Randolph is like a 4-year commitment, it's really catered towards manufacturing. This is kind of providing and trying to create like an experience for all kids in all pathways. Like this gives us something specific for masonry. And so we don't have like a masonry trade in Apprenticeship Randolph. It's pretty heavy manufacturing and automotive. This gives you kind of an outside the box apprenticeship model specifically for masonry. So it seems very flexible, like, and they would pair us with a partner. I think that partnership would be huge, because we want, like, through our construction, carpentry, masonry, metals, we want to try to provide them as much hands-on experience as possible, because they're very hands-on programs.
Because, back in my day, we were like Tracy, back in Eastern, we used to build houses.
Yes.
And you would have the masonry class go out and do the foundation, and the carpentry class, and it was, that was how these kids, and then we'd sell those houses, and that would go back into the program. And that was as hands-on as you could get.
Yes, ma'am.
So I didn't know if it was similar to kind of like, even if those kids can go on a job site and see it, that's better than what most of these kids are ever exposed to before they go to school.
Well, we will continue to push the kids outside the walls and go see, experience, touch. Yeah, and so I think with this program, it's going to give kids the opportunity to go see how houses are built, to go lay brick. I think this program will bring that to the kids, and it'll just create guest speakers in there. And more and more of these programs start to pop up as they need high school workers in their programs. So, and this seems like super easy to implement. It's just establishing a partnership. I think they've already got a partner picked out for us. They were able to move forward, and it looks, the pre-apprenticeship program looks strong.
David, didn't we have, at the big job fair we had back before the holidays, didn't we have a company that was promoting this?
We did. McGee Brothers.
Yes.
I gotta find out what Fred did at Eastern.
Yeah.
We had a big,
I gotta find out what Fred did at Eastern. You built a house, he built a plane. What'd you do, Fred?
As little as possible.
we had a big job fair and brought every high school student through at Journey Church. And, it was, so McGee Brothers, is that name of the company?
Yeah.
They were obviously interested in our kids and obviously wanted to reach out to our kids. I remember going by the table and talking to the guy. And, I brought David some stuff, and David already had stuff, so they got both of us. But when I saw this, that kind of brought back my memory of that day. And I think this is a very aggressive pursuit of workforce here.
They employ a lot of Randolph County schools.
McGee does.
Do they?
Well, here's
Yeah.
the other
Yes,
piece about
they
that, to your question, Ms. Whitaker, is there is no masonry in our apprenticeship Randolph program. So this gives us an avenue here that's not in that.
Okay.
We've had information systems at one point to get in and out. I don't know if it's still there. And automotive's been in and out. Advanced manufacturing was the #1 driver of the apprenticeship Randolph program. But automotive's back, it's been pretty solid the last couple of years.
Ashford Ford was with us last year, and so they took on a few apprentices. And so this year strictly, we got 31 manufacturing spots this year. And so hopefully the automotive back, I think they're kind of going year in, year out. But right now, Friendship Rental is solely manufacturing. We've got 21 partners and 31 spots.
When you go to these dealerships and you see the guys in the back, I always am intrigued by what's going on in the service area and how the technical expertise they have and just the knowledge they have. And that's why I keep hoping that our automotive piece will grab hold in Friendship Randolph too, because I think that's a need throughout the area. I think it's a need everywhere, but I'm more concerned about our area, our dealerships anyways, but I think this is a kind of an offshoot of Friendship Randolph in my opinion, because there's not this avenue there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing, I mean, like the masonry, and I know Dr. Gainey, correct me if I'm wrong, but your daughter, she's part of the skills team who went and built, and when I was going with my daughter to the Skills USA, I mean, we got a lot of talented kids in this county who can do this stuff, and they're just not getting showcased, not getting opportunities to do this.
Well, it's funny what's grabbing children. My son is now going through, and he's in the construction, and he's taking masonry this semester. I mean, those programs are grabbing our kids.
Cause I mean, I know at Randleman, cause I've been to a few of their masonry competitions when they had them up there, man, that's about the next biggest thing in football, Randleman. I mean,
Oh,
they
they're
used to
proud
do
of
it.
they're proud of their little stacks.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, they are.
They're very proud.
And they're talented, they're
Yeah.
really good at it, that's it. So like, big vision, 3 years, we love to have some sort of academy type model of all of our schools. We want to try to continue to bring this career, kindergarten career model to every single theater pattern. And then we're trying to bring more trips, more internships, apprenticeships, just, we want more of these partnerships to continue. Do you have any questions all about the core programs that we're rolling out this spring?
David, I guess my question to you is, when you talk about the academies and all, to me, when I see this as the first step of formalizing things.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, we've got questions about what if there's seats open at the Wheatmore Public Service? Can another child grab one of those seats? Yes, but at some point, we've got to formalize these certificates somewhere and let them sit somewhere and then start moving. That seems to be how we wound up with programs. Everybody, we've got the two auto mechanics, we've got the two metals. We've got some variation. So I think this is a good start, if that's how it looks to me, is a formal start with, and letting kids know where their seats are available, because you just mentioned, Mr. Boyles, the fire protection classes that you guys are taking. Well, if those seats are empty, then they're virtual. They may not be in the actual school or certificate program that's considered at Wheatmore,
Yeah.
but can they grab those courses and start knocking them out and wind up with a certificate too? Because
Absolutely.
the certificate's awarded by RCC, right?
That's it, yes, sir.
So it's not awarded by us.
Right. Do you know the big picture, what this accomplishes is like, when I was in school, we didn't build airplanes, but, you know what?
There's some nice buggies for those horses.
We could, we could flat build a buggy. But you know what? I hated like some of this, like the science and some of this stuff, that just wasn't me, like the math, simple math, I'm fine with that. But you get into some of this.
When they started putting alphabet letters in.
Yeah, so they started adding the Y's and the X's and the two X's and the two Y's. You know what? I hated it. I was miserable, And I never had to use that. But you know what? Back in the day, I could take a car and put it back together in the courthouse. But, but I'm just saying, this keeps, at the end of the day, when you offer something like this, it keeps them in school.
Yes, sir.
That's what it does. Not everybody's made to do those double X's and all that stuff. And, that's it. At the end of the day, you do the masonry, be the fireman, whatever there's your ticket. You're gonna keep more kids in school doing this, and you're gonna keep doing the other.
I mean,
At the end of the day.
well, what you're saying is, we've seen in the last 10 years, college applications went down. And this here's stuff that everybody needs every day, and that's what kids are going back to.
You take them welders, some of the money they're making, you come out of college, you paying that college, well, unless you get it forgiven, but anyway, those welders are making big money. the right place.
I got a
Well, I
kid,
think it's, you're developing, one of the things that community college always pushed is, obviously they're not, I can still remember Dr. Fackler saying this over and over, we're not trying to do diplomas, we're trying to build people, I don't remember the phrase he used, what was it? Trying to build people's career, trying to increase their employability skills, but at some point, getting the certificate is a formal credential.
Yes.
Just like the journeyman certificate, I know it's not what they call it anymore with Apprenticeship Randolph, but they come out of that program with a journeyman certificate, which is pretty much recognized in those areas across the country, in those industries. So I think, and probably as much as anything, sometimes we don't stir kids' interest in some of these areas they're not interested in. We don't ever find what their interests are until we get them in some programs where they're, some of these programs, they start showing us what they're interested in, they start showing us their ability.
And at what point, like, is this kind of funneled in, like, when kids come into, like, high school, do the guidance counselors sit down with every kid and kind of say, what's your path, and then you can kind of guide in the right, and I know that every school is gonna have it, because there's gonna be a kid at Eastern who wants to do auto mechanic, and that may not be there, but, it's good to kind of be able to hit those kids younger, so that they kind of can make a plan.
That's a very good point.
You
And the marketing piece is gonna really drive this.
Yeah.
And so, like this past year, the College Career Continuum, we made one map that fits 7 communities, where I think we're creating a plan to really partner with principals and school-based staff. So like, what does your map look like? What does your academy look like?
Yeah.
And so a lot of those questions are gonna be asked, because I love data. I think data drives a lot of this. And so, and a lot of this is very research-based, and I just wanna make sure that, every program we put in is gonna be, we're gonna meet kids where they are, we're gonna bring it to them, it's gonna provide, equitable access to kids right there at no cost to them. And I wanna make sure that we're pushing this higher education experience to them, to make sure they're not stopping with just like, hey, I'm just gonna be okay with
Just
this.
getting
keep
through.
going, Just getting through.
Yeah.
Well,
In addition to that,
Yeah.
we have the program of studies for the 24-25 school year will be out this week online, so that parents and students can see it from kindergarten to seniors in high school. We not only will put it up electronically, but we will send copies to we'll send a copy to the elementary school, so those guidance counselors will have it. But we'll also send copies to each of you, so that you will have it in the event that a parent asks you about what's being offered in a particular school. We will send them to the high schools, and we will send them to the middle schools. With the Chromebook access, students can pull that document up anywhere and talk about what they might want to do before they ever get to high school.
Yeah.
And one of the most powerful positions, or valuable positions, maybe not, we've got counselors and we've got administrators and teachers, but that career development coordinator is a special position. And I would say, if we ever hear any conversation about that not being there in our schools, that's one that's, obviously we're always fighting for more teacher position, more counselor position, but we cannot go where we're headed with children without that position. That's basically, to me, that to me has always been a CTE counselor that's out there promoting these pathways and looking for children and making sure children know what's there. So that's one that I've spoken to legislators about, don't lose sight of how valuable that position is. I'm saying the counselors do great work, but they can't do all this without those CDCs doing a great job as well, and as far as exposing children to these classes.
And go back to the marketing piece, like our high school CDC to implement our college career continuum, we've been stretching them down to provide activities at 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. So really trying to get market, hey, in 6th grade, we're gonna do this activity, but at Trinity High School, here's all the pathways we have that exist. Trying to promote that at a lot earlier ages. So letting the CDC valuable, it's super flexible, and a big part of CTE is making sure that every single kid has a targeted conversation around the career development plan. So that's one of our big priorities. We're gonna try to infuse that across those big 5 rocks we have next year.
I think one good thing, and I don't know if every school does it, but these career days these schools have, they're important. I gotta go to the end of next month to farmer school. You go there and you look at a 4th, 5th grader and you say, yeah, y'all be a fireman, but you're really young, but it's hard to talk them into it, but but I think they're really important, because I know Ridge, they used to do one over there, and I don't know if they still do or not, because we get invited over there, and Tabernacle Fire Department had a vehicle, Farmer Fire Department was over there in their district. But, they're real big, especially when you get these middle school, at least middle school, they're big. I mean, this is great, you know, education years back when Gary was young. You know, it was, you know, the ABC 2+2, that's what you was pushing,
Just
but, you
cause
know,
I like them Y's and Z's.
but education's changed so much, and like I say, we're getting them career ready now. I mean, you teach them the basics of education, then we're getting them career ready. I mean, the jobs of the school systems has changed so greatly. It was a whole lot simpler when you was teaching them ABC and 2+2. But, you know, it's great to get these kids done. I got one who's graduating, and he ain't got to take 2 classes, and he's probably going to go to Cary Fire Department, working 10 days a month, like $54,000 a year right out of high school.
Tracy, since you was talking about when I was young, I do have a question though, and you guys can probably relate to this. Tell me why, when I go to a restaurant or I go to a store, that 98%, I guess, of your kids nowadays, I mean, I never use, you know, I deal with money all the time.
Oh, no,
Never
no,
use a
no.
calculator. I never use my register to make
They
change.
can't
I
make
mean, you give me 20, 35, you bought 16, 35, I know I'm gonna give you $4. None of the kids can do it now.
If somebody
What
hands
happened?
money back to me.
Well, I tell you,
give them that.
technology
Like, you
is a
just
great
did, like,
thing, but then
magic.
technology.
Yes, it's magic if
Yeah,
they can
like
do
you
it.
just
It
did
blows my
magic.
mind.
They don't even
But they're
do it.
supposed to be
Yeah,
so
you
much
remember the
further
last time
ahead
somebody
than we were.
Yeah.
And they're not. It's terrible. I mean, I don't know if we're so busy on the X's and the Y's, we lose the basic how to count money, but somewhere along the way.
Well, I think
We've
part
lost
of it is like we've kind of like just not helped, they thought that kids could do stuff. Like back in my day, I wasn't given an option, I was told this is what
Well,
you're
now
gonna
it's
do.
But don't you notice
It's just
it
the
now?
card,
It's
tap and
yeah.
go, and that's,
Yeah.
that's what they're used to.
I went and done
They're
it
not
one
used to
time.
cash. A lot of
I went
places
to
don't even
pay a
take
girl with a
cash.
check, she didn't know what a check was.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. I had a boy on the fire department, he was having to write a check, and he said, can you show me how to write a check?
Yeah, we've had to
Oh, we
do
get
that.
people.
I said, you know, that's where you go back to the X,
Oh, yeah.
Y, Z, and that. You know, I went to school, you had a math class called consumer math. He taught you all that stuff.
That should just be in life
Kids don't have-
skills.
It
They
should
can't
be
pull out a little plastic
101.
card and stick it in the machine, they don't have a clue how things work. Then they don't keep the receipt, then when they're overdrawn, they
And
wonder
then when
what
somebody
happened.
calls you, you don't have any money, somebody's gonna scam you. I mean, God.
Going back to the masonry program, where are the hours set aside for them to work? I mean, do they get early work release? Is it Saturdays? Is it left up to the person that they're working for?
So we'll work with we'll get a sign-in entry part of what it sounds like, talking to the association. So it'll be built just like kids going to apprenticeship. So it'll be one of their blocks, like we'll go off, they'll work on the site, we'll get their high school credit, they'll log their hours, there'll be some required expectations from the CT internship side, apprenticeship side, and then the employer will pay them directly. So it's not like us paying them, the employer takes care of that. They get the high school credit piece from us. So like we'll work with the counselors, the principals, and all that to, you know, get those logistics ironed out.
And just out of curiosity, Lord forbid anything happened to anybody on a job site, but how are they insured?
We take paperwork very seriously. We've got work-based learning insurance, so we've got, you know, all these waivers they got to sign. So I mean, we've got a nice, like, tailored paperwork process that, you know, that releases us for it.
We have a CT insurance, if it was to be it would fall back on us, but, you know, obviously if it's someone else's, liability, then they'll handle it, but we do have,
I mean, I could understand our end of it on campus, but if they're off campus
on the
somewhere,
job site. it's
and they're the
probably-
only kid there,
Yes.
Yeah, if they're got an employee paid.
Once they wind
Yeah,
up,
that's what I'm
once they
saying.
wind up
We'll have
being
to have
paid
some.
by them, it's probably gonna be covered on their end.
they're in.
Do you have any questions about any of the programs? Logistics, if everything goes well, and we're starting implementation this spring. Y'all everyone feels good with that.
It's exciting.
Thank you, yeah.
Thank you all, appreciate your
Very
time.
excited.
Board members, the last thing for our work session today, looks like we're gonna be done a little early, is I want to share with you your scheduled events. There are 3 dates that are new. I got those the last time I went to a commissioner meeting when they approved their calendar. The formal budget presentation to the commissioners will be on May 30 at the courthouse. And then 2 other events happen after that. One is a public hearing on the county budget, that's on the 12th of June. And that's also not a lot of other agencies around the county come present their budget requests. But that May 30th is when the school systems and community college does. But June 12th is public hearing on the budget, and then June 19 is the night of the, when they finalize the budget for the upcoming year. And if you remember, we only have 2 June meetings this year. In the past, the night they did the budget, it's been on top of that middle one, but we only have 2 June meetings, June 5 and June 29. So that shouldn't be the conflict, or the, you know, it's always been a little bit, we've had to move that one on the night they approved the budget up to 4 o'clock and hope we got done in time. So those dates are new. Everything else is holds the same, so we're gradually coming through the year. Point out 2 big events with employees. The retirement banquet is May 11, and then during the work session, May 15, that's when we'll do the recognition, and that will be at RCC, and then we'll come back over here that night for the board meeting. So that's all we have for the work session. I appreciate David. I know David's excited about it. Kathy, I know, was excited. She was excited for I think when y'all were talking about it prior to coming in here, but I want to make sure, reiterate the piece of where this goes. You know, you saw some schools identified here, so you could, somebody liable to say, why weren't we identified? We're just, and we can't do it so much at once and do it right. And so it'll come back around, and just kind of like the example I gave with the Golden Leaf money, we were able to establish the metals program at Eastern, and that was a very expensive program. We built not only buy a bunch of equipment, but we built the building. And at the same token, we were able to go in and replace some old equipment that had been in the Ranaman metals program. I think that one opened in '99. Last I knew, we had 2 of 12 metals programs in public high schools in the state of North Carolina. So 2 of the 12 were sitting in our school system. So that's pretty special. So, but that's all we have. Any other questions from board members? Anything else that, I think, Beverly, we've got, where's Beverly? We got Beverly? Okay. All right, well, we will adjourn and then.
Steaks are on the grill. Steaks are on the grill.
I don't know about that. The next work session, we might have a